Hey everybody, I'm Cheryl Swift, Duchess of Rock and Roll. I'm here tonight with Brent Cobb. What's up, Brent Cobb?
What's up?
What's up? It's funny, Brent and I are here at Off-Broadway in St. Louis. He has a show tonight with Nikki Lane and Jonathan Tyler. And we were just talking. We literally met about 10, maybe not even 10 feet from here out on the sidewalk last fall.
Right through this door.
Right through that door. You can't see it, but we can. It's a fun door. You never know who will walk out it.
We may have a lot of passerbyers as we do this.
As we do this. So we're just going to include the band members and the staff members in our interview.
Yeah.
Because that's how rock and roll music is,
We're
right?
all a big family.
It's a big family. It's a big family. So you've had an interesting couple years. The night I met you, you were on tour with Anderson. But how I had originally heard about you was from the compilation CD Southern Family.
Yeah.
So how did that project come to be to where we are today?
I had taken a couple years off from the road. My wife and I had our first baby, and I wanted to just focus on writing and be around the house. And about a year and a half into our child's life, Dave calls me and he says, I'm putting together a concept album called Southern Family. And I thought it would only be appropriate to have my little bitch-ass cousin.
Little bitch-ass cousin, not just a cousin, bitch-ass cousin.
And so I wrote a song for it, and he wanted Miranda to be a part of it, and Miranda Lambert.
Yes.
So she and I got together and wrote a song for her to do, and when Dave and I got back in the studio, it had been 10 years since we had recorded together.
Wow.
And so, you know, we just got in and it felt like coming home. It was just finally we were able to be back together.
Yes.
Well, we just made the mention, let's do a record.
Yeah, and explain to people who, I mean, this interview's about you, but explain to people who Dave, your cousin, is.
All right, Dave Cobb is the best producer in the world. I've said that, it's really true. I've said that from day one when I moved to Nashville. Nobody would listen to me. You know, he did Shooter Jennings Put the O Back in Country, which was the first record that I heard that he had done before we even knew one another. Before
you realized he was part of your family.
Right.
Howdy.
Hey everybody, Jonathan Tyler
what are you
with
doing?
the walkthrough. Just a little interview.
Oh, you guys are in the middle? No, get out of here. I'm sorry.
Just a cameo from Jonathan Tyler. You never know who will show up. So Shooter.
Yeah. So he done Shooter. Dave Cobb produces Chris Stapleton. He produces Jason Isbell, Sturgill Simpson.
And now.
And you know.
Working with Zach Brown.
And Zach Brown now. And that happened through Southern Family as well.
Oh, because of all the connections. And Dave's been working with my friends Judah and the Lion.
Yep.
So all of a sudden, Dave Cobb to me is to the what I'm calling the country roots revival. I don't know if anybody else has ever said that. That's Cheryl's word, country roots revival. I think that's a Cherylism. I say Dave Cobb is to the country roots revival what Berry Gordy was to Motown.
No doubt.
He is. I am so mesmerized by this man's ability to produce music that's a little different, but so good you don't care. Like, he doesn't necessarily fit a mold.
Right.
And I'm mesmerized. Every album I feel his fingerprint on. Yeah. I'm like, oh, it's a Dave Cobb production. Like, it makes sense to me then.
I'm just so glad that so many people are aware of that now, though, because
I'd like to noted that I knew this a long time before he was in the Country Music Hall of Fame. Like, I was like, this Dave Cobb must know Dave Cobb. And then when I got to meet you, I didn't even realize, I mean, I asked if you were related, but I hadn't put it together. Right. And then this year I was thrilled I got to see Dave actually play with Chris at Ascend. You opened, and then Dave played, and I'm standing there like, oh my God, it's Dave Cobb. And everybody's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh, I'll tell you about him after the show. You know, awesome. But so you've been a singer-songwriter for quite some time.
Yes.
You have hits that people may not know you've written for some pretty major stars. You want to share any of those?
Maybe. It always feels a little bit like bragging. But,
it's not bragging. If I ask the question,
I didn't bring it up.
I brought it up to ask my buddy Brent.
I haven't actually had a radio single, but I actually just counted. I've had 33 cuts by other artists.
Are you serious?
So it's really hard to get cuts. It's very competitive. I write for a publishing company on Music Row, which is what all my heroes did. Willie and Christopher.
Right. I mean, Chris.
And Yeah, and so that's sort of my deal, you know. I've written songs for Miranda, I've written songs for Kenny Chesney and Little Big Town, and
just a little
Luke
Luke
Bryan,
Bryan.
and, a lot of people. And,
Yes.
That's what I would be writing, even if, you know, I'd be writing if I was still in Georgia.
Right,
So
right. So you were in Georgia, now you've moved to Nashville with your wife and your...
Yeah, I've been there for
How
8 years.
Oh, 8 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And the new album, Shine On Rainy Day, I love it. But I gotta tell you, Digging Holes. I sing that song in my head. It
Awesome.
resonates with me. You know, because it's like, you know, I might as well just be, you know, I might as well just be digging holes because I'm really good at, you know, it's just...
It's
I
a
just
little
love
tongue in cheek, but it's true too. You know, it's Dave. There's actually another version that I had made before Dave and I got back together.
Oh, okay.
And it's the more serious side of that song, but Dave always heard it
as kind of
tongue in cheek,
kind of a little giggle,
right.
like let's make light of how bad it can be.
Yeah.
Yes. And the other song that I just love, and I did not know there was a co-write on it, is The World.
Yeah.
And so I met your friend Eric Dillon.
Yeah.
He just toured with Jonathan. No, wait. Eric was on tour with...
He's been out
Listen,
with a lot of people.
I can't keep up.
No, I know.
Oh, Whiskey Myers, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Whiskey Myers. And so I met Eric, and I said to him, I said, blah, 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 I love your music. And he said something about you, and I said, well, I love Brent Cobb. And he said, well, I helped write The World. And I was like, wait a minute, what? That's a great song.
Thank you. Yeah, it's I had that actually was crazy as I came up with that chord progression when I was on the road writing with Charlie Worship.
Oh,
And
yes.
I love Charlie. Charlie is one of my best friends, and he's
that's great.
so incredibly talented. But he wouldn't, for some reason, he was like, he didn't get what I was trying to do
With the song.
So I wound up writing like a half that first verse of The World. I took it into Eric, and it was our first write. Even Eric was out there.
Really? Okay.
Right, and yeah, we wrote it with we finished it with Philip White.
Okay.
And it's one of my favorite songs on the
Yeah,
the
it's
record.
just, I love the whole record, but those two songs really speak to me. And Digging Holes, like I walked in here tonight singing Digging Holes.
That's awesome.
Like it gets stuck in my head, and I just want to sing it all day. And you know, your album to me is like, I said this to Sam Lewis too, because you guys do you know Sam?
I don't know.
He toured with Chris last year, Stapleton. And you guys, your songs, I want to sit on a porch and drink a beer and hang out.
Man.
You know, I love that feel of being, it's friendly, and it's not, you know, like,
Silly.
it's not silly,
Right.
but it makes you feel
Good.
okay about, like, oh, today I should be digging holes.
That's what I'm
I should
saying.
be riding the rail because I'm really good at leaving.
I need to look up Sam because now you got me wondering. But I love music like that. I love music that says something. Just because you're saying something a little deeper than what's on the surface, it doesn't mean you have to be depressing. You
Right.
Can, you know,
And
you can
Sam, you two, for you really, I could see y'all, I think we should all sit on the porch
Really?
and drink beer.
let's do it.
I think we'll do that the next time I'm in Nashville. So you're on tour now with Nikki Lane. I mean, this woman is getting some major kudos out in the music world. I'm thrilled. This is the first night I'm going to see her live. I saw Jonathan
You've
a couple
never
weeks ago.
seen Nikki?
I've never seen Nikki live. I've seen her perform like on TV and on the internet. And I've met Jonathan and saw Jonathan a couple weeks ago, but I've never met Nikki.
Nikki is about to blow your mind.
Nikki is already blowing my mind, so I'm thrilled to be here tonight to see her. And so you're on this tour. What's coming next? You have a huge UK. Are you going to the UK?
Yeah, we'll go back to the UK in May, and I'll be there for a couple weeks. And
Yay.
last time we went, all the shows were sold out. So maybe we'll see what happens this time.
We love you, European market, buying those tickets, going out to see the bands. I mean, like Blackberry Smoke is there right now. I mean, they're selling out venues, like, and they're on tour with the Bitters, which is super cool. So you're headed to the UK, and then will we get to see you some this summer here in the United States again?
Yeah, we'll be on tour with Chris Stapleton for the rest of the year after that. So
I can't wait.
It's a crazy year. I
Yes.
don't really know what's going on, but
Do you just feel like every day you just get up, you're like, how did I get this live?
yeah. I mean, I've been at it for a long time. You know, it's always nice when you believe in what you're doing, and then you start seeing.
Yes.
You start seeing it happening. So
Yes.
It's a really incredible year.
Yes, I just have to say, from a personal standpoint, I think you're one of the nicest men I've ever met in the industry.
Thanks.
And watching you play and watching you have this success and being on the front row there at Ascend and seeing your hometown just come to their feet for you. What was that like for you? I just can't. I was in tears.
I mean, it was like being in Ellaville. You know, it was like really being in my actual hometown.
Yes,
because
Ellaville, population 1609.
That's correct. It was amazing. It's going to be a great year. I'm just ready for 2018.
Yes.
Now.
I think, was that your wife and your baby over to the? I started crying. I'm such a girl. You know, I was on the front row. I know you didn't probably see me because there's thousands of us, but I was watching them and I was like, what must this feel like?
Amazing.
Like your dream, like that's all anybody as a singer-songwriter, I would assume, is to want to get on stage. It makes me tear up and play in front of your friends. And
It's
Dave's
amazing.
there and your family's there. Were you just like, did that just happen? Did it feel like an out of body?
I feel that every day, you know, not just that. So it's, it's amazing. I'm just thankful. I'm just glad to be here.
Yeah, and I like your humble nature.
Well,
please always stay Ellaville strong.
I promise. It's taken me way too long to get here to like ever be an asshole. So.
Yeah, he's never going to be an asshole. And if he is, I'm going to call him out. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, please.
I'm just kidding. So tell the people where they can find Shine On Rainy Day album.
A lot of local record stores will have it. You can get it on iTunes, obviously, Apple Music, Spotify. You can go to my website, BrentCobb.com, I think.
I think it's BrentCobb.com.
I hope
I usually look that up before interviews.
No, that's it.
Brent Cobb. If you Google Brent Cobb, you'll find him.
Just Google me.
Just Google me. Thank you so much. I'm so excited for this show tonight. I'm just thrilled for your success. I love watching people go from the little bar to the big stage. It's very exciting, you know. I'm just thrilled for you.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Oh my gosh. I'm Cheryl Swift, the Duchess of Rock and Roll. I'm here tonight at Off Broadway in St. Louis with none other than Brent Cobb. Pick up his music at BrentCobb.com. We think.
Y'all
have a great weekend. We wish you peace, love, and rock and roll.
Thanks.
You're welcome.